Gestures, barefoot, we were pantalooned, we had it ourselves. From the oven of birth, we began to track the sun, till we fell into lava. Then we turned our attention to darkness, dusk's murky bronze, snowy nights of desire. Knowledge of darkness heals us. And the thing I can say that my particularly dark thread of poetry in those days was a lot to work out and a lot to hear, and I was always received at Red Sky. And Marion particularly was that smile, that welcome. The first time I walked into the 5-0, she was just this brilliant, all I could see was her smile. And I left kind of Red Sky in the early 90s, and I kept in touch with Margaretta, and then I lost track with her, and 16 years later she's reading in Portland, and I find her, and through her I find Marion again. And through all of that, you all. So, there is a way we don't hear about bodies as they age. We are willing to speak in our 40s and 50s and even to our 60s and sometimes into the vigor of our 70s. But as the body wanes, what do we have to accept? What do we have except the witness to lightness, the slow slip beyond, and if lucky, a brief, powerful love transfer? Marion walked well into her 80s, wisped thin and strong as ever, her heart struggling to beat at the last. The care of this place, these people, and the ever-welcome Marion to the quietest of voices. Full embrace of the possible young and steadfast wholeness with those she traveled with, both near and beyond. All Hunter.
I want to say some things on Marion Kimes' behalf that would have her cry out, "Oh, for the God's sakes," and give that hearty laugh. So listen for it. She was the earth angel of this reluctant community. Let me describe where and when I first met her. I was at an early Red Sky reading at Soup and Salad in the Market, 1981-82, where I'd met Don Wilson, who washed dishes there when I used to play music with Steve Lopes back through the mid-70s. I'd met her once before at a big arts meeting, but this was a Red Sky reading where she introduced me. Colleen McElroy was also on the bill. She swept in with her entourage, did her reading, and swept out again, which was a lesson that some poets don't care what anyone else was up to. Whenever I met her again over the years, I always knew her work and what to expect of her behavior and presence, had given her my close attention, and knew that she didn't know me from Adam, never would. After the reading was done, Marion and I talked a little, bluntly. I talked about readers having to rival the terrific view in this place at Soup and Salad, and the mountainous egos of the other poets. And I thanked her for being the token grown-up in the room. There she was, little wisp of a woman, trim and fit, with an easy laugh and a steady eye, with a voice that could crack like a whip, or hum a lullaby, or break into an aria, or cut through the crap like a buzzsaw. From that day till the end, we shared some assumptions. that we all need a peer group. Not a cold, hard audience that can be had on any street corner. Not, as some early Red Sky luminaries said, a training gym to help the combatants work out and keep in fighting trim. That we all need to accept that there are other writers out there, and that we might as well benefit from one another, not fight for whatever meager attention and applause might come. Not perfect our boarding house reach, fighting over the last potato or meatball or biscuit crumb. That first little set of assumptions grew from our conversation, though they remained largely unspoken between us. And here's the list that grew around Red Sky. And I think Red Sky fell to Marion as the other people dwindled, faltered, and she went on. We'll pay special attention to one among us this evening. We will also always have an open mic, because that is what this is really about. We'll all be asked for a donation, because that's how the larger world keeps score and is an acknowledgement that we all have to keep body and soul together. And that we'll try to take care of each other, but no one will be turned away or shamed because they couldn't come up with $2. Every poet or writer will get an introduction and a hearing. Everybody will be expected and asked to keep their own time and adhere to a time limit. And last, it's about the words. Not costume, not makeup, no special props. And as with Shakespeare, the theater is the words. Aside from that, anything goes. Those assumptions were sorely tested over the years.
Sure enough.
I have noticed that there has been a bit of scrambling to take credit for the birth and early doings of Red Sky, and want to clarify something. Marion Kimes was the earth angel to this reluctant community.
Here, here.
Can we all say this together? Marion Kimes was the earth angel to this reluctant community. A lot of things got done, and a lot of things got tried by a lot of people who thought they graduated from Red Sky and moved on beyond it. Some of them must have thought of Red Sky as some kind of losers club, since it couldn't help but attract and try to welcome some troubled souls who were in no condition to return the favor. After all, who else would take them seriously? Not colleges and universities, not the mental health professionals, not the so-called business community, not the arts commissions. I could go on and on. Some of those troubled souls healed and moved away, and some healed and stayed. And some never healed but gave it all their best try. But what Red Sky grew into and became was but what Red Sky grew into and became was in great part due to Marion's guidance, her backseat driving, her function as the token grown-up in the room. Let me boil the lessons down, tell you what we were trying to learn. Look at your audience. Treat them with respect. Deliver the goods. Don't explain or excuse yourself. Keep your own time and be ruthlessly honest about it. Realize that applause among friends may be a polite acknowledgement, but is nothing compared to the silence of a room full of people hanging on every word. So listen to your audience, to what they laugh at, what they sigh over, what makes them fidget and cough, and what makes the whole room go quiet. Be open to what they say to you and what they don't say. Know the difference between a confessional and a therapy session and a work of art. How art has to transform whatever materials it's given into something fresh and surprising, beautiful, and true. Ultimately, the conditions of writing and your community about what you were trying to do don't matter, are self-indulgent, have no place here. Who cares if you wrote this on the bus just on the way to The point is, have you made it as strong as it could be, as public, as accessible, or was something in you satisfied with a shadowy outline, a jagged brokenness? Now for the personal stuff. In 1994, Marion approached me, as she's had several times before, to ask if I would be on the board. She'd been running the whole show at this point for a little over 10 years. Up to then, I'd had a teaching job that was pounding me like sand down a rat hole. But I had taken early retirement to care for my father back in Ohio, to be there when he died in early 1995. And for that first year afterward, Red Sky was my community, my only social scene, practically the only place I taught. And between the two of us, I told Marion I'd take it on. She said, great. But then within a month or so started making noises about leaving Red Sky, retiring, finding time to do other things, etc. She was 63, 64. So I threatened her. Said if she quit, I'd be right on her heels at the door. Blackmailed her into staying. Told her I'd do the heavy lifting, but what this outfit needed an occasional touch on the rudder. And that most of these folks didn't quite get the significance of what she'd been up to all these years. And that was the deal we made and kept for the next 10 years. To tell you the truth, and this is the truth I told her, I wanted her there as a model for how it ought to be done, how a poet might be and behave, how to age gracefully, how to speak to the moment and to the timeless verities, how to keep the beat, how to remain surprising and honest and above board on the high seas of one's life in one's own little boat. Marion had some special qualities that were evident in her presence and remain imprinted in her work. To feed herself, she worked mostly menial jobs, but viewed working in bookstores as the great gift it was. She wrote every day. She read and studied every day. Read a lot of you and me and many other greater and lesser lights. She immersed herself in a wide range of subjects, most especially other arts and other creatures' lives. We all know of her embrace of recalcitrant feral cats. But she also loved crows and horses and elephants and cutting-edge science, and for all its perversity, politics. We know she had loves that were unrequited. We know that she suffered private sorrows, but that her heart and will to thrive were big as all Texas. We know that one of the wages of aging is to be dismissed and overlooked. But knowing her for 33 years in all weathers, I can tell you that this was the same strong woman all the way, who refused to be swept aside, who spoke publicly for what she knew and felt right, who sang in our midst as a gift. And I'm going to end with a little pamphlet of hers that I don't know if anybody else has got one. Probably you do, but I'm just going to hold up my fingers. This is called Shooting Stars. And it's from 1992. Coming home from work. Coming home varies. Today, essentially, I'm told I'm dumb. Can't spurt, can't cut the mustard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spells my anger at her anger mislaid on me. Good way to read it, good as any. Actually, I'm skeined thread. Through the needle's eye, broken, knotted, tied. Patience, patience, patience. Secretly, secretly, at night, I'm shooting stars. Our smallness, one quick breath, one life in so vast a sky, this piled up paper-thin pastry of a universe. But smallness fails to shake our eagerness to survive, to dominate, to flower. My begonia flowers in December. Early on, I thought it defective, poured on nutrients. Finally, I got it once a year, once. We want continuous, more and more and more. We think time stretches as the rubber tree's perfection. We send machines beyond this atmosphere, out and in, out and in. We call, come here, come near, or punch buttons and say, go Galileo, go find us Jupiter and capture the backside of Earth's moon. Get the Tropic of Cancer on your way. Yes, antenna gone? Go anyway. We must know Jupiter. One planet in one galaxy, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Earth, and I, one dot. Numberless galaxies spinning unnamed, omnivorous black holes so far out they lie, unseen, unheard, unheeded. Galileo, find more of what we cannot know, the unwritten, unheard music. Remember, look back to us, notes, rests, dots, inches, movements toward Jupiter on a path across almost 400 million miles. Smallnesses in so vast a sky. This is the last one. Speaking in tongues and other confessions. Like you, I remain silent. I lie. I'm not what I seem. In the small hours of morning, I have slipped and lain where I fell, caught where my hungers met with a generous meal. Food, 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 on and under candlelit, linen-draped tables, succulent mouthfuls lie about, not platter-bearer nor hostess, not owner of anything, uninvited, unseen. I have eaten. Unsponsored, unevaluated, unclaimed, I'll leave as I came, reading, roving, reaching, an intuitive mixture, expanding beyond my recipe, running over the edge. I do spice the air. As northern lights singe this bay, a moon creature, hammock slung, gazes outward away towards some other planet. Listen, the galaxies shout their truth. When I go, I'll shiver my appetites. Far down the sky, where stars still form.
Sorry, thank God for Paul Hunter.
We're going to take a half-hour break, during which